show.
Fat Joe said that.
Fat Joe's a
Lean back.
We've been leaning back for 20 years, man. Like,
He said you crowned yourself the rat leader and you wrote the 48 laws of snitching.
The internet lit up when 6ix9ine went off on Fat Joe, and he didn't hold back. During a wild live stream, Tekashi accused Joe of being fake, saying he hides behind the OG image while doing industry deals with the same people he calls out. He said, "Fat Joe been acting real for years, but he just playing a part." Fans went crazy, reposting clips, debating who was real and who was reaching. The tension between them ain't new, though. Years ago, Fat Joe called 6ix9ine a rat and warned him the streets would never respect him again. But this time, 6ix9ine flipped the script, saying Joe's the one who betrayed street values for fame. He even pulled up old footage of Joe working with cops on charity projects, saying, "You call me fake, but you sit with the feds smiling." That hit hard. It wasn't just about beef, it was a statement. Tekashi wanted to prove the real ones ain't always real, and the fake ones sometimes just tell the truth louder. Once again, 6ix9ine stirred the whole culture, and Fat Joe's silence made the whole thing louder.
if I crown myself the rat leader, he crowned himself as the cap leader. He didn't rob no 50 niggas at no gym. That nigga, yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Which one's my camera? That one?
Yeah.
This one? That one? Yeah, Fat Joe, you're a, like, you're I'm not even gonna lie, you're a captain of the cap. Like, nobody believe, even your co-host who's Jadakiss don't believe you. Every time you say a cap, that like, but like I said, you
brought the flag, like,
and
flag on the play.
And my next song, I even say, I be spitting so much facts that I make jokes to distract. That's the next bar in my song. Don't like the truth, so y'all make jokes to distract. We know this lying, right? All right, yo, listen to me. Listen.
But there's a lot of people that say he ain't lying.
He ain't lying?
Yeah.
All right. Which one's my camera? If Fat Joe is not lying, the next person on the Dancing Project, bring Big Pun's son. Bring Big Pun's son on the Dancing Project. Welcome back.
Chris Rivers.
Welcome back, y'all. Let's skip this clip. Watch when he see this clip, he gonna hit up, yo, Chris, don't do that. How much money you need? Out of here. Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
you just said a lot.
Son, even on the verses, remember when he was facing Ja Rule?
Yeah.
And they said, don't play that shit. That's Big Pun. Don't do that. Don't do what, fat? You talking about it?
After that viral stream, 6ix9ine doubled down. He called Fat Joe a storyteller, saying everything about him, the street tales, the boss talk, was just branding. He don't live what he rapped, Tekashi said. He performing for the camera. Fans jumped in quick, some calling Tekashi a hypocrite, others saying he was finally exposing the fake industry OGs. The internet split in two. Some remembered how Joe warned Tekashi years ago to stay out of trouble. Others said that same advice was really hate disguised as wisdom. Then 6ix9ine threw another jab, accusing Joe of switching sides once money got involved. You can't scream street forever when you're living in mansions with execs you used to diss us, he said. It was brutal, but it stuck. Within hours, memes flooded Twitter. Old clips of Joe talking about never folding were now captioned with clown emojis. Hip-hop pages were on fire, debating who really lives by the code anymore. 6ix9ine might be hated, but he's strategic. He knows how to make people question legends. And this time, his aim was locked straight on Fat Joe's image.
You're gonna get me in trouble. For sure.
How did you feel after warning Tekashi? Because I saw it when you sat with him. And I was like, Joe is trying to put him on right now. And I'm
gonna just be honest with you. You went there?
Yeah, I went there.
This is a sucker.
Oh.
He's a sucker.
Talk, let me get, yo.
Okay.
What's up about it, man?
No, I ain't drink. I'm dead sober.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead sober. This dude here, this type of shit, this doing, I'm convinced he wanna die. I don't wish it on him or nothing like that, but I'm convinced he's miserable in his body. He can't look in the mirror. Nah, I don't know if he got him. He's a lot of
He just got knocked.
So now the man snitch, right? Cool, do you or whatever. I
did
just
you
don't,
know that?
I don't like the taunting. I try to tell him, like, what happens? Like, yo, bro, listen, I didn't know if he really did it. I didn't know what was going on. The crazy shit is when I talked to him in that interview, I talked to him off the air, and he lied to me and told me, yo, this is just an image, I'm fronting this and this and that. He told me that in front of Shotty and them. They were standing right there with him.
He said,
Nah,
what?
Joe,
This
he
is
told
just
me
an
that he was
image.
lying.
He's an image.
Yo, Joe, I'm not really doing this. I'm not a gangster. You know, this is all for like promotion. I got it. At that point, I said, so you're not doing nothing because you're gonna go to jail if you're really doing stuff.
Right.
Nah, Joe, I don't do nothing. I'm good. So I'm like, all right.
Then Fat Joe finally broke his silence, kind of. He went live on Instagram saying, some people use my name for clout because it's the only way they'll trend. He never mentioned Tekashi, but everyone knew who he meant. He claimed he'd always been solid and didn't owe explanations to anyone, but the streets weren't convinced. Some called him mature, others said he was dodging the smoke. Tekashi fired back immediately, laughing on camera. If you real, say my name, he said. You scared because you know I got more proof. That line reignited the chaos. Fans started calling it a war between generations, old school pride versus internet power. Joe believes silence shows strength. Tekashi believes silence means guilt. It wasn't just a rap beef anymore. It was about culture. The OGs were trying to protect their legacy while the new era thrived off exposure. Podcasts, YouTubers, and bloggers all jumped in, dissecting every bar, every post, every reaction. It was a full-on media storm. Two different worlds colliding. And 6ix9ine was winning the algorithm war with every post.
Yo, what's the event in hip-hop that broke the camel's back? Pause. To make it to where you could snitch. And if you make good music or something, you could still live out here in hip-hop. Like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back in hip-hop where we had a code and there is no code no more? There just isn't no code no more. And what do you think is the event that, you know, I remember growing up, even if you was fronting, you wasn't a real gangster, but you was spitting gangster rap shit. You wasn't with the rats like that. Right now, this
too many of them.
sold out concerts.
I don't think you can escape them. They all around. They're like New York City rats. Humans. It's rats everywhere. And everywhere is everything, you know.
Too many Fredos, not enough Michaels.
It's a fact.
You know, some of these guys got to take a boat ride, never come back. Sammy the Bull is the most famous rat on the earth. Sammy the Bull. Then you came Alpo, guy everybody looked up to, charismatic, Harlem fly, Louis Vuitton, this, that, Toll. He did that, right?
Shout out to Wayne Perry and Wayne Perry Jr.
Then, in hip-hop, the day 6ix9ine sat on that stage.
Yo.
No! You remember, if you're watching the story, they taking him to court in bulletproof vests. They acting like he was telling on El Chapo. He put a lot of good people in jail, man.
No, we gotta put him away till his time.
Yo,
my feeling is gonna get close.
You feel it?
I feel his time has come. I feel his time is gonna be soon, though. Yeah.
Does it not matter no more? And I believe 6ix9ine, when he told, he gave guys 20 years in jail. All the guys, he was like, oh, but he f***ed my wife. Oh, but he did. That means nothing. There's a man that works in a bodega that never been a criminal in his life, see some shit that he won't tell.
When the dust finally started to settle, it became obvious that 6ix9ine knew exactly what he was doing. The man might be controversial, but he's not stupid. Every move, every rant, every exposure moment, it's calculated chaos. And this situation with Fat Joe was proof that Tekashi still knows how to play the internet like a piano. He used Joe's silence, his legacy, and his respect in the game as fuel to make himself relevant again. That's the difference between old school power and new school clout. One builds over decades, the other explodes overnight. And Tekashi, he lives off the explosion. See, Fat Joe operates on principles that come from another era. Back when hip-hop beef stayed on wax, when men handled differences behind the scenes, not through live streams. Joe's from a time when being real meant staying solid and silent, not putting your business online for the world to see. But in 2025, the rules are different. The internet doesn't reward quiet strength, it rewards loud chaos. And that's where 6ix9ine thrives. He's not playing chess like the OGs, he's playing TikTok. Every argument, every accusation, every clipped out soundbite becomes content. That's what makes this so wild. Because even though 6ix9ine is one of the most hated names in hip hop, he still manages to pull everyone into his orbit. Every time he drags someone, the headlines follow. Fans might clown him, but they can't stop watching. And when you're living in a world where views matter more than morals, attention equals victory. That's how Tekashi keeps winning, even when it looks like he's losing. He's the master of turning backlash into buzz, and he just proved it again at Fat Joe's expense. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's silence, as noble as it seemed, actually worked against him online. The OG crowd respected it. They saw it as maturity, discipline, and composure. But the internet crowd, they saw it as weakness. They said things like, Joe's scared to respond, or he letting Tekashi control the story. And that's the problem with this new era. Silence used to mean control. Now it means defeat. Tekashi understood that perfectly. Every time Joe said nothing, Tekashi said more. Every time Joe stayed calm, Tekashi turned up the volume. It wasn't about truth anymore. It was about who could keep people watching longer. And 6ix9ine's been doing that his whole career. But beyond the trolling and the clout, this situation exposed something deeper about hip-hop culture today. The generational split. You got OGs like Fat Joe who came up on codes, loyalty, and legacy. And then you got new school players like 6ix9ine who grew up on algorithms, followers, and virality. To Joe, this whole situation was childish, beneath him. To Tekashi, it was business. The perfect way to keep his name hot. It's two worlds colliding, and neither one understands the other anymore. The streets don't care about clout, and the internet doesn't care about the streets. Even fans could feel it. This wasn't just about beef, it was about evolution. Fat Joe represents what hip-hop used to be, respect over reach, integrity over influence. 6ix9ine represents what it's become, exposure over loyalty, clicks over credibility. Both sides got power, but in 2025, the internet decides who wins, not the streets. And right now, Tekashi owns that space. What's crazy is, even after all the chaos, Tekashi didn't even need to win the argument. He already achieved his goal, getting the world to talk about him again. His name was back in headlines, his music streams jumped, and his social media engagement skyrocketed. It's a playbook he's run 100 times, and it still works. Call out a legend, create drama, drop some content, and let the internet do the rest. Fat Joe's reputation took a temporary hit, but 6ix9ine walked away with more attention than he's had in months. Still, let's keep it real. Attention don't always mean respect. The OGs might be quiet, but they're watching. And while Tekashi's winning on the surface, that kind of energy doesn't last forever. The internet loves you one day and buries you the next. Fat Joe's legacy is already carved in stone. He doesn't need views to prove anything. Tekashi's still fighting to keep his name alive. And every time he picks a fight, it's another roll of the dice. So yeah, 6ix9ine exposed Fat Joe badly, at least in the headlines. He made him look outdated, silent, and out of touch with the new generation. But the truth is deeper. Joe's silence showed he's playing a different game, one where legacy outlives clout. Tekashi might have won the internet for a week, but Joe's name still holds more weight in the long run. Because when the screens go dark and the clicks stop coming, the only thing that really lasts is respect. And that's something no live stream, no tweet, and no viral clip can ever buy.